Hi, I'm Andy Holzman of Family Tree Counseling Associates. My number is 317-457-8668, and I'm calling this video a failure to attach. What brought this up was recently I saw an obituary in my local paper, and the obituary made me sad. It made me sad because not because I knew the person or anything of any personal connection, and it was a very interesting obituary, quite long, a very accomplished person who did a lot in his life and was well respected. What made me sad about this was my own experiences with people who have very accomplished parents. So the reason why I'm calling this a failure to attach is sometimes when someone does a lot and they're very interesting and interested in the world, and yet they have children, they have a wife, children, or a husband and children, they may not be there for their child or their children in the way that creates a healthy family system. Family of origin, family systems are very important in how we see the world, and that's pretty consistent from the decades of study. The psychologist John Bowlby has identified three ways that people attach. One is a secure attachment, the other one is an anxious attachment, and the third is an avoidant attachment. And these three, like I said, are pretty consistent. So if you learn in your childhood to be attached in a certain way or not attached, then that's going to be replicated in your relationships and especially your intimate relationship as an adult. Often I will talk to someone whose parent was like in this obituary, someone who had a parent who did a lot, was there for other people, worked a lot, would be at the drop of a hat, go out and help someone, fix something. And at the funeral of this parent, they would have many, many people. The place would be packed, and people would be coming up to the child, my client, and saying, I loved your father, I loved your mother, they were great, they did so much, they were so wonderful, and yet this adult child of this person who has died has no connection to that, does not understand what is really being talked about except in an intellectual sense, because the connection to the family was not there. And that's my concern. So as I mentioned, there are three possible ways to attach or not attach. And the secure is, as it sounds, the most healthy. This is the person who can connect with their partner as an adult because they learned as a child that support, safety, trust is going to be consistently and securely there. So this is a child who learns that when they hurt themselves or when they're sad or when they're scared, that they can go to someone, a caregiver, a parent, and get comforted. Not in the way that they're going to be mollycoddled, if that's a word, right? Not that they're going to always be told that everything's wonderful, but they're going to be their hurts are going to be bandaged and kissed, and they're going to be loved and cared about, and the parent is there for them. Too often, that doesn't happen as much as it should. So this is a secure person who has that connection and is comfortable because of that secure connection to parents to being independent and individualized and being able to go out and make their mark in the world, whether as a child or as an adult. They feel secure. They feel like life is safe and things can be trusted and the world can be trusted. And that person has a better chance of a relationship, and often a better relationship than the person who is number two, the anxious attachment. And the anxious person is a person who feels loved, but it's not consistent. And if it's not consistent, then what they learn is that they're scared a lot of the time. They're anxious a lot of the time that they're going to get their needs met. So this person is very needy and may act out and throw tantrums and feels insecure and unsafe that their hurts will be bandaged and their boo-boos kissed and their fears will be quelled because the parent is not there consistently. The parent may be working too much, or maybe too childish, or was neglected as a child themselves. So they just don't know how to be there consistently, and they get frustrated with the child's needs. And so this just creates more neediness. This is the kind of child who I've heard a parent say will hold on to their legs and not let them go anywhere, or will throw tantrums on the way going somewhere and then be sullen when there. Is a person who's basically has learned not to trust, is anxious about the world, and is insecure in relationships as a grown-up. Insecure in the sense that they're very needy and very wanting of love, and yet that very neediness may push away their partner or partners because it's too much. It's a big drain on the system. They're trying to have something more consistent, and it just is too much for anyone because they just don't feel safe. So when you have an anxious person, a person who had inconsistency in their life, that is problematic for an adult relationship. The third possibility is the avoidant attachment, and that is a person who does not have very much at all in terms of a caregiver who's there for them. They learned early on that the world is not going to fulfill their needs, and then they decide early on to just take care of themselves. So this is the person who looks very independent and very strong, and can be the adult child, the person who at 8 years old or younger sometimes is taking care of siblings, or taking, cooking and cleaning and taking care of their home life because their parent was incapacitated in some way, maybe schizophrenic, or maybe just not there. I hear stories of a parent just taking off and moving away, and boom, you don't have a parent anymore, and you have to go to the other parent because maybe the parents are divorced and one was carrying the load, and then that person is gone, or that person just leaves one day and clears out everything in your house and throws away your stuff. And just somehow early on you learn that the world is not safe, people are not to be trusted, and so you become this lost person emotionally. And in adult relationships, well, the partner may think that this person can just be loved out of it or needs support, but often they just don't know how to accept that, or they don't know how to be emotionally, they do not know how to be emotionally present, and do not ask for love, and do not ask for much of anything. There's some part of them that wants that, and they just are not going to be able to show it. So this is a person who is in a 20 or 25-year marriage, and their partner really doesn't know who they are, really doesn't know them emotionally. They might be great workers, they might be good at functioning, but they're not emotionally present. So those are three possibilities in relationships. There's a secure attachment, which leads to a healthier type relationship. There's the anxious attachment, which is not healthy much at all, because that person is pushing their partner away, and it's impossible to fill that needy hole. And then there's the avoidant attachment, which is no attachment at all, which is really hard to have a relationship with someone like that. So thank you for listening. I'm Andy Holzman of Family Tree, 317-457-8668. aholzman2@comcast.net is my email. That's aholzman2@comcast.net. Again, thank you for listening, and if you are interested in talking to me, please feel free to call or to email me. Thank you.